Welcome to the Preeminence Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew J. Peters, founder of Ascend. Be sure to grab your ultimate guide to preeminence at preeminence.tv. Today we're talking about hitting delete. So tune in, listen up, and get ready to take a focused action on your mission, message, and presence and create accelerated results toward preeminence right now. Okay, so today we're talking about hitting delete, hitting the delete key. First question I have for you is, when was the last time you Googled yourself? Like you went on Google and you see, if you type your name in and maybe some other defining characteristic like where you're from or your company name or somewhere where you used to work, start doing some research on yourself. And what comes up? What comes up to the surface is someone is a prospect of yours saying, considering that they want to work with you, and now they are doing some research on you. What are they going to find? Are they going to find you're doing 2 things or 3 things or 5 things? Or you're selling used cars during the day and then you're also a inspirational speaker on weekends? Is that what you want them to see? Is that what you want to represent you online? So here's the thing is, as people go through their evolution in their entrepreneurial journey, a lot of times we start one path and we're going down it, and we run into some roadblocks and we're learning about ourselves and everything. And then we stop and we start the next thing because we went to a seminar, there's another shiny object, and we start chasing that direction. So a lot of that stuff is still remaining out there. We have footprints everywhere, and a lot of times they're footprints in different directions. What do we need to do to get people who want to partner with us, want to possibly buy from us? What do we need to put out there that's going to help them have more belief and trust in us that we know where we're going and we're moving in one direction, we're not wandering? Because if people see us wandering, they're going to wonder, really, where's our heart at? What are we really all about? Now let's talk about this whole idea of deleting. I had 4 YouTube channels. I had 5 pages on Facebook. And so what I went through and did is I deleted 3 of the YouTube channels that are no longer what I do. And then 4 of the 5 Facebook pages I went and took offline. Here's a question for you. Why would you delete some things and just take some things and make them private or offline? The only reason I would recommend that you not delete something is if you have a piece of something, you have some content that's evergreen, meaning it's about psychology, it's inspiring and stuff. It's not time stamped, it's not dated material. It's timeless, not timely. And so that type of material, you may say, that's great. The quality right now, it was shot and when I did like a 10-minute talk at a library, and it doesn't really, show people who I am now. I was just one of my first speeches. So you can take some of that stuff down and just take it offline. But if it's something that's in a completely different category, if it's something that to you might not represent who you are as a person today, if it's, you doing stupid things when you're in college, get that stuff offline. If you have friends who have posted stuff of you online that no longer represents you, go ahead and talk to them. Say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to untag myself from this, or say, hey, you know what? Can you please delete this video? That was 7 years ago and that no longer represents me. I'm a very different person now. I've done a lot of work on myself and I'm doing this thing. I could really use your support. Would you please take this offline? So delete is a very powerful thing. It's a point of decision. It's a cutting off of the past to start something new. So if I had a website, and I've had many, many websites over the years, I can go in and delete that site. And when people, even if they search for something, for a while, it's going to still come up. When they click on it, there's not going to be anything there. But what you are doing is you're starting something new and you're saying goodbye to the old. That would be like if you come in on a ship and instead of burning your ships, you just tie them off there saying, I don't know what we're going to run into here, but we have to head over those mountains. But if we run into something that isn't comfortable for us, if something's difficult, we always got these ships here we can come back to and go back home with our tail between our legs. You want to take away the options for retreat. You see, a lot of times what happens is we want to hedge our bets and say, if something doesn't work out, I can always go back to blank. And when you do that, you're actually betting on yourself losing. So I want you to take away any possibility of you betting on yourself losing by deleting those things in your past that no longer reflect who you are today or where you're going. Now, if you've been doing something for 10 years and you have that talk from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's online and it has several hundred views on it, or you have blog articles that are out there and they represent kind of your history of who you are today. It's still me. It's a more developed me. That's a good thing. Now, why is that different than the other stuff? If people see that you've done 10 other things in the last 10 years, that seems like you're wandering, you're flipping and flopping. But if it's really you on an evolutionary journey on one path, that's showing them that you're reliable. That's showing them that you are growing, that you are moving up and out and towards something. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to go on Google and research yourself for at least 10 minutes. It's super simple. If you're at your computer right now, open up Google, start typing in your name, your business name, anything you've done in the past, prior business names, any people you've had partnerships with, any businesses that you used to work for as a job. Do they still have you on their website? All of that stuff. And take 10 minutes to take some notes and write that stuff down. Now, I also want you to go to YouTube. If you have different Gmail accounts, you may have actually multiple YouTube channels and don't even remember it. So look at your YouTube channels, look at your Twitter accounts, look at if you have multiple Facebook pages, log in and see how many pages you have out there. How many public groups do you have that nothing has happened in the last 6 months? You got to take that stale stuff down, get rid of all of that. Take it offline, or if you really like, I'm not going to retreat to this ever again in my life, go ahead and delete it. If you don't want to go back there, if you don't want to live that over and over again, delete it. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure you go and research yourself, check out the media you have online, look at your media footprint out there, and if it does not represent you today and where you're going, and the story of your past, and if it doesn't support you in your story, that hero's journey, then go ahead and delete it. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. This daily podcast is all about you becoming the preeminent voice in your marketplace. So take the consistent and necessary action each and every day on what you've learned over the last few minutes. When you're ready to take your business, your organization, your name, your brand, and your commitment to the level of preeminence, head on over to preeminence.tv where you can download your own copy of the Ultimate Guide to Preeminence. Enroll in the Elevation program and join us on one of our next live events. If you're not subscribed, simply visit iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play right now and click subscribe. Until tomorrow, make today and each and every day count towards creating preeminence in your space and a legacy that matters.